Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video for you. What I have for us today, let me get right to it, is from Big Slide Brewery, okay, Hot Pepper Ale. If you're not familiar with Big Slide Brewery, they're up in Lake Placid. Their mother Queen Ship brewery is called Lake Placid Pub and Brewery, just off of Main Street on Mirror Lake Avenue. Just down the road, a little different menu. Is Big Slide Brewery, and they will be opening up another brewery, I believe, in the fall of 2023. I'm filming this right now in March of 2023. So they'll be opening up that newer brewery at Saranac Lake again later in this year, during this year. So if you're up in that area, definitely check it out. It's kind of been our home away from home. We haven't been able to get up there personally for a little bit, but definitely, if you're there, I would give them a shout out or at least a nice look. So I had gotten about a 6-pack of crowlers from them, which I've done a bunch of reviews, like Ubu Ale, and I think there was a porter, maple porter, and things. So if you're interested in that brewery or those styles of beer, take a look for it. So what I've done recently is I ordered another 6-pack of crowlers from them, and I like to always pick. And this is why I like their brewery as well as some breweries locally here, is they always have different styles of beer. And I always like to try different things, whether it's styles that I don't get my hands on that much, maybe they're imports, maybe it's just styles I've studied, when I've been studying for the Cicerone and things like that, to really taste and analyze. This Hot Pepper Ale is on the menu at both Lake Placid Pub and Brewery as well as Big Slide. I believe it's the same beer. I could be mistaken. If you work for them and you definitely chime in below either on my Facebook and or my YouTube channel, because I see the same beer listed, even though they have different breweries at each location. So this is kind of new for me. I don't want to say I've never had this. I think when I was at Big Slide one time, we were having lunch with the family and I had gotten a flight. So I may have tasted like a 4 to 6 ounce sampler of it on a normal flight of beer. So this is kind of new for me, having, more than just, a few ounces. So this one, what's interesting about it is brewed with, I don't remember how many pounds do they have? 15 pounds of chopped poblano peppers and 2 pounds of jalapeno peppers. I'm presuming they're either putting in a secondary, or maybe it's even the boil. Like again, I don't get the specs on where it's boiled, or if it's in the boil or put on it in a secondary fermenter. But needless to say, I'm expecting some heat to this. The IBU units, which is probably not that important in this style of beer, is roughly 35 IBUs. Is probably just enough if there's any sweetness here from the malt to try to balance it out. But I've got a feeling what's going to be dominating here is the heat and maybe the capsaicin and things from the poblano and the jalapeno peppers. It's registering in at, I'll put it up here again, 6% alcohol, even though I probably have to pop it up on my shoulder a few times. Remember, crowlers, for those of you who are not that familiar, they're usually big 32-ounce cans. So roughly, 2 pints, literally, if you're at your local brewery. It's a nice way of getting it if you don't have a growler. So the crowler with a C. They fill it up with the beer. Sometimes they put CO2 in the can so the beer replaces some of the CO2. So you have a nice bed of CO2 on top of the beer to keep it fresh. Usually you want to drink these, most people say about 7 to 10 days. You could probably go a little longer than that. But you want the beer fresh. So a little bit about crowlers before I dive into this beer. So anyway, I think that was all the specs I have on there. So Lake Placid Pub and Brewery and Big Slide, which I bet you'll find the beers there. And like I said, they're one and the same in the sense that if you do order from them, if you live in New York, they will deliver directly to your house. An adult has to be there to sign. So what I have today before I open this up is literally a glass I found my pint glass, shaker pint from Lake Placid Pub and Brewery. You don't see me a lot on my channel using a shaker pint. I've got, the Leslie Brewing Company glasses that I use sometimes, but figure since I had a Lake Placid Pub and Brewery and I've got their beer, I might as well use that. And this style of beer should be fine, I'm thinking, for this type of shaker pint. All right, all right. So let's crack this bad boy open. As it squirts everywhere. Okay. So I couldn't even tell you what color. Oh, now I can tell you what color it's going to be, but I couldn't even predict what it was going to be as I'm pouring it out. Okay, I'm just got plenty of head there. I pour a little bit more aggressively, as if you watch my videos. So we have a nice pronounced head, a little more than I usually would have. Usually we want 1 to 2 inches. Since I'm pouring aggressively, we got a big head here. But nice, light tan head. On camera there, it looks a little bit more white, but it's definitely a light tan on here. Kind of a nice light gold color, pretty clear. Really no chill haze at all. Looks very pretty. Kind of a color of a international pale lager. Maybe even, cross between like an American pale ale, like a Sierra Nevada pale ale color. But very clear. Okay, so let's take a sniff of the aroma. Okay, what I'm getting on the aroma, kind of getting that malt, white bread, wheat bread. I don't think there's necessarily any wheat used in the grist, but again, I don't know what the grist is. Again, remember the grist is all the grains that are used in the recipe for the beer. Okay. Definitely some fruitiness. Again, I do not know what hops they're using. Light fruit, maybe like peach, pear, maybe even apple, whichever, pick your, fruit, pear, apple family. Very kind of sweet malt kind of aroma to it. So it's probably using like a 2-row, maybe some Pilsner malt. I'm not getting any heat or any peppery, getting singed with the aromatics from it has, capsaicin in it and I'm burning my nose hairs or anything like that. I'm not getting any of that type of smell, but definitely kind of smells a little bit like a blonde ale, golden ale. When I take a little bit of a longer sniff, interesting, I'm probably getting, I can't usually tell between a poblano pepper and a jalapeno pepper. When I'm doing a longer sniff, though, I am getting a little bit of that raw jalapeno. Obviously I've cooked with jalapenos or poblanos. You kind of get that raw pepper kind of smell to it, aroma to it. But very nice. I mean, I wouldn't even know. And so far, if I didn't know what I was pouring, I would not even know that this was a hot pepper ale. Okay, but it's got kind of that malt smell, sweetness, floral, fruity type of hop kind of aroma to it, as well as a little bit of that pepper on the longer sniffs. So anyway, guys, it's even clearing up even more. I mean, you may not be able to tell from the camera. You can probably see me through it, but it's pouring like a blonde ale, golden ale, or maybe like an American wheat without the haze. Okay, so cheers, guys. Let's take a swig of this. Well, there you go. It was funny. Initially, I got the same thing. I got like that sweet malt, floral, hoppy, right as I was rolling it off my tongue, right initially, almost like it was a blonde ale again. It has that sweetness to it. But then within a second and a half, 2 seconds, you start getting a little bit of the warmth from the hot pepper, as well as, almost like if you were gnawing on a raw jalapeno. But I'm going to take a few swigs here, but I'm not getting blown away with heat like you're eating like a hot buffalo wing or something like that. Or chewing on the seeds of a jalapeno. Obviously, that's where most of the heat is. Well, I just did an inadvertent retronasal thing that you kind of take it, swallow, you kind of breathe out coming through your nose, and you kind of got a little bit more of the heat there. Medium carbonation, light to medium carbonation, light-bodied, very light-bodied, like a blonde ale. As I'm drinking it, it's almost like you eat that first buffalo wing, you kind of get the heat, but it doesn't seem so bad. But as you're eating more and more of them, the heat's building. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. You definitely kind of got that raw jalapeno taste to it. or even just a regular green pepper kind of taste, and then a little bit of heat, but it's not as overpowering as I was expecting, which again is good because, you know, if you get blasted away too much with the hot pepper, just like some hot foods, in my opinion, at least this is my personal taste, you almost start losing the flavor of things. But you kind of definitely get the sweetness of the malt here. You know, low bitterness, maybe moderate at very most. I don't even know if I had the, yeah, I did say there was like 34 IBUs. That's sitting around Pilsner territory, German Pils, roughly. I'm just trying to get, again, it's very nice. I mean, again, it's drinking like a blonde ale or American wheat, but either retronasally or just as it sits there, you kind of get a hit with the pepper. So just enough. So if you're up there, don't be scared off when you see hot pepper ale. It's not going to singe your tongue and the back of your throat. And I'm going to take a few more tastes of it. I got plenty of off camera here that I'll be able to drink. Very nice again. I got to say, the 6-pack that I deliver the Crowlers, this is the one that I wasn't too sure I was going to like, but this is really enjoyable. So again, if you want to picture this, if you've had like a Kona, I think it's called Big Wave, blonde ale, or if you had blonde ales at your local brewery, which are very easy drinking, it's kind of like that, the sweetness, floral, fruity kind of hop character, not overblown like an IPA, but a nice sweet Pilsner malt, maybe 2-row, light-bodied, so crushable, quaffable, with a little bit of that pepper on the nose and especially long sniffs on the palate, and then just a subtle zing of you know, hot pepper, capsaicin, or whatever if the same ingredients in jalapenos or poblanos. So again, you know, kind of subdued. I'm really enjoying this. I really thought it was going to be a little bit too hot, you know, quote unquote hot. But anyway, guys, so I would definitely recommend this if you're up there. And, you know, it's tough to, you know, I'm going to say it, I'm going to enjoy this good B plus A minus beer. They always make, you know, that's one thing with Big Slide and Lake Placid. You rarely, like, if you don't like a particular style of beer, you may not like certain beers up there, but it's not because they're not brewed well. Usually all the beers are brewed very well. And nothing different about this one. So it's Big Slide. It's not really a unique can. It's their kind of the Crowler label that they put over all their cans. And Brewery. So if you want Crowlers from them, definitely give them a shout out online. And you can order from, I think, both menus. So again, another winner from Big Slide / Lake Placid Pub and Brewery in Lake Placid, New York. Definitely recommend it, guys. Okay? Till the next one, have a great day. Take care.